Hello my friends, let's go to the front lines and especially to the Bakhmut city because it's the major hotspot for now. I haven't been uploading the video yesterday, but we have some sort of the changes. However, they're just minor changes, which is good for Ukrainian side. So it was yesterday, day before yesterday, so really not a significant movement from the Russian forces. They closed this gap over here yesterday. They've took Davydov village, which is kind of long out here, goes all across this small river. But the main thing that there is no huge movement from the Russian forces from the north and also from the south. And still they are unable to take this part of the city under their control. Yes, it's in a gray area. We don't know for now who is controlling this part of the city, because now there is the fighting in this area. However, from what I know, Russians were not able to cross the river to the central part of the city. I would say that the chances to keep the city under Ukrainian control are quite low, but I also said like that 2 weeks ago, and what we see that Russia moved closer to the central part but still is unable to take control over the city. Still, Ukraine is able to send some of the equipment from Chasiv Yar over here. Yes, it's very dangerous. That is why we go across the fields. Sometimes there's some dirty, very dirty roads, and sometimes our vehicles got stuck out there. And also we use this road for supplies of the Bakhmut city, which is also not good because it's under the constant artillery shelling. So definitely this situation may not prolong for a very long time because of the troubles with supplies. And in a nearby future we're gonna see the Bakhmut, which will be captured by the Russian forces, or I give it like 20% for the Ukrainian counterattack in the area, because I know that Ukraine concentrates the forces in Slavyansk, Siversk, Konstantinovka and Chasiv Yar for the possible counterattack. I filmed about it, the video on my channel recently, you may check it out. And here you can see the satellite image of the Bakhmut city as it is right now, and this is the border of the Russian control, so they are really close to the city center over here. And I'm really concerned about this maneuver that they conduct on the south recently. As you can see, there's the main way out from the Bakhmut city, highway T504, and really it's in a close proximity to the Russian control area over here, so Ukrainian forces cannot use this road any longer. And here on this map it's been confirmed that Russia advanced all across the Bakhmutka river over here. On the deep state map we got the other picture, and this is very concerning, my friends, very. I would say that we are very close to the Mariupol situation. The good thing here that there are not as many civilians as in Mariupol, and our army hasn't been encircled by Russians. And why can't Russia just close this gap over here? Because they cannot advance fast through the city, and there are lots of the places where Ukrainian forces may hide. So this is not an easy task for the Russian forces, and it's great for Ukrainian side. Again, Russians say that they have destroyed the Leopard 2 tank in Ukraine, but actually it's the Russian Photoshop flag on the shoulder of the Lebanese soldier that aims the anti-tank weapon on Israeli tank on March 2023. So this is not a Leopard 2 or something, this is some sort of the Israeli tank, and I wonder what happened out there. Maybe this picture also was photoshopped. Ukraine has received 2 of the Patriot systems, but they are not yet in operation because they need to be deployed at first, and some of the United States officials say that the Patriot systems are not effective against the cruise missiles and were designed to fight against the ballistic rockets. That is basically what we need, because we have other weaponry against the cruise missiles, but we don't have any against the ballistic missiles or ballistic rockets. For example, Russian Iskanders or Russian anti-aircraft rockets like S-300 that were converted to fly from ground to ground. Also, potentially Russia may get ballistic rockets from Iran. We have a new YouTuber over here, Prygozhyn. He's very often on the social media, and he spoke about what they will do after they capture Bakhmut. Well, it's better to say if they capture Bakhmut, because still they're in lack of the supplies. He said that Wagner army would shrink a bit because they don't have the newcomers from the Russian prisons, but Prygozhyn announced that they will hire more people from sport clubs and more patriots that will have some sort of the ideological background. And in his mind, Wagner should be the first private military army with ideology. I think that it is impossible goal for them to get more people, as many as they got from the prisons, patriots, into their death club. I think that Wagner army will just vanish a bit in Ukraine and they will concentrate their forces in African and Syrian regions. And Wagners cannot win the confrontation against the regular Russian army because it's the system, it's the main resource and they are very small to fight against it. But still, I would like to see that fight. Why this conflict is getting worse for Prygozhyn? Because he decided to go to public to make this PR campaign. Yes, he got some of the shells as a necessary help right now, but he personally got banned from all of the Russian official jurisdictions, his phones were blocked and also all of the passes to the Russian military. So Russian army is the Russian army, Wagner is Wagner, and they both hate each other. For example, here we can see the quick reminder for the Russian soldier of the Russian regular army, and here if you do something wrong out there with shooting or car crashes or anything that led to casualties or wounds of civilians, always say that you are from Wagner army. Unfortunately, we have the loss on the front lines. This is the Estonian soldier. His name is Ivo Yurak and he lost his life on 7th of March because he got under artillery fire in Bakhmut city. He used to serve in Estonian army but joined the international legion that takes part in this conflict. And according to this media resource, he is the first Estonian who lost his life in this war. Hopefully the last one. Rest in peace, Ivo Yurak. My condolences to the family of this soldier and my friends. I have sometimes messages from your side saying that you are willing to go and fight for Ukraine, but think twice because you may lose your life in this war. If you have the previous military experience, if you consider going, yes, it's up to you, but without the military experience, don't think to go and fight in this war. It's like a second world war if we speak about the weaponry and artillery that being used in Ukraine. 80% of our soldiers are losing their lives because of the artillery fire, and most of them never shoot from their AK-47 or AK-74s. Oh, we have Turkey, which joins the sanctions and now blocking the goods from Russia in transfer to European Union and United States. The Turkish government ordered to halt the transit of specific goods via Turkey from March 1st. Because the Turkish side hadn't announced it in advance, there are many of the Russian ships or ships with the Russian goods are now blocked in Mediterranean Sea or the Black Sea. Norway will provide Ukraine with 2 more NASAMS air defense systems. Those are very sophisticated. I think RST is a little bit better, but NASAMS was designed a long time ago. RST is the brand new. Nevertheless, according to Ukrainian statistics, both of those systems may shut down 100%, nearly 100% of the enemy rockets. I shared this video on a Telegram, and this is some sort of the Russian resistance. This is the Russian airfield. I may tell you the name. It's Vladivostok, so really far east, and this is the Sukhoi Su-27 airplane. At the beginning of this video we can see how ground ignites. It means that there is some sort of the jet fuel, and we can see the airplane on fire. So it was done and filmed for purpose. And this guy should have been an actor in some sort of the movie. He looks kind of creepy at the same time and quite sick. This is the chief of Antonov. We call this position the general director, and this guy was arrested because his actions led to Mriya, the biggest aircraft in the world, being destroyed by the Russian forces or maybe Ukrainian forces, because there was the huge fight of artillery in Gostomel airfield. So really for now it's hard to say who destroyed this airplane. Yes, before I say that Russians did it, but I received some sort of the information telling that it could be the Ukrainian artillery, because Russians placed all of their tanks and vehicles very close to that hangar, and we fired towards those vehicles, totally destroying them. Until now, we cannot say certainly who destroyed Maria airplane, but it was done because of the war. So at first it was the Russian aggression on Ukraine that led to the airplane destruction, and this guy should have launched the airplane well before the war had started, and they've got the proposal to transfer all of the airplanes with all of the pilots, all of the spare parts and equipment to Leipzig 2 weeks before the war. They ignored it, and this guy called most of the employees to be on 24th of February at their positions in Gostomel airport. Then Russians conducted the massive attack on Gostomel, so it seems like he was aware of Russian intentions, and also under his ruling Antonov supported Russian military airplanes with the spare parts before the war, even though sanctions were applied for those products to be sold for the Russian Federation. So now he's jailed temporarily and just waiting for the court. His name is Sergei Bychkov. Poland agreed to transfer their MiG-29s together with Slovakia to Ukrainian Air Force. Just hope that this transfer will occur very fast, because we need those airplanes. We lost half of our aviation during this war. 2 days ago, Ukraine was attacked with the Russian cruise missile, ballistic rockets and hypersonic rockets Kinjal. They used, I think, 7 of those rockets. It's the largest number since the beginning of this war for Russia to use those rockets per one day. And they've also used the rockets in a combination with Shahed drones, and unfortunately many of the civilians lost their lives. One rocket even hit the private house, so there's total nonsense to use the rockets against civilians, but Russia does it. And those are the remains of the Shahed drone that was shot down by Ukrainian air defense. You can see it has the 4-cylinder 2-stroke Boxer engine. Very simple construction of that engine and of the drone itself. And by the way, the United States of America introduced the new sanctions against the Chinese companies that produces the chips for the Shahed drones as well as other equipment. It's interesting, but also United States and European made parts were found in Shahed drone design. But this essential equipment like GNSS antenna array and individual pack that contains a receiver was produced by China. This is the Russian soldier whose surname is Mezinov, and he complains that Russian army is in lack of artillery shells. He said that they were thrown to fight in Bakhmut at particular fight without any kind of the backup fire from artillery. However, someone promised them that they will have that backup, and after they return to ask artillerists what's the is going on, they say that simply they don't have artillery shells for this mission. And he has his eyes open, saying that it's sabotage. Who is doing it? It's the Russian army that does it to the Russian soldiers. Well, indeed it is. Even though Russia may produce some of their artillery shells, it's still unable to cover the needs on the front lines, and will not be able to do so, because to produce the artillery shells, first of all, they need to produce the special equipment to get those artillery shells ready, and for that they need to build new factories that were abandoned or destroyed after the Soviet Union collapse. They relied on their old storages from the Soviet Union times, but they used the most part of those artillery shells in previous wars and at the beginning of this war. And the vast part of those artillery shells that were stored for a long time are unusable right now because they neglected the procedure to store those shells. And also Wagner's complain about it, that they receive the shells but they cannot fire them because they're rusty. And yesterday there was the information from the Ukrainian media that Israel announced the massive attack on Iran to destroy nuclear facilities that Iran might use to produce nuclear weaponry, but actually it was a false warning. I apologized to my viewers and my subscribers on the Telegram channel, so sorry my friends. After I searched the topic out, there were any announcements from Israel that they're going to attack Iran. And in any case, they would never do this announcement before the major fight. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there are some of the links available in a video description just below for you to do so. Thank you so much for your support and your help. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.